Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about how to write functions in C++, and we'll go over the different types of functions. So we'll have functions with like normal input parameters. We'll have functions that have specific input arguments that's set to default value. And then the last one we'll talk about is going to be functions that can be overloaded. Okay, so we'll get into the details of what that means by going into a simple example. So let's have include IO stream, and then as usual, int main return 0 here. Okay, so that's our simple function. And then typically you define your function outside of your main functions. And the syntax for a function is going to be your return type. So here we're going to have a return type of float, the name of your function, and then inside is going to be the parameters, the input arguments to your function. So things you're passing into the function. So we're going to have, uh, it's going to be the type of your input argument, the name of your input argument, and then if you have more than one, you'll space it out by commas. Okay, so we have float1, num1, float num1, and then float num2. Those are our two numbers. And then we're just going to return num1 plus num2 divided by 2. So if I calculate it, I'm going to say average 1 comma 2. And maybe we want to save the result. So we're going to say float my average. Okay, so if I run this, let's put a breakpoint. So you can see my average is 1.5, okay? And that's what I expected. So that's one way of writing a function. And then maybe we have a default value here. So if I default to 2, for example, I'll do something like this. And then let's say I only pass in one input argument. If I run this again. So now the user doesn't have to input the second number, and you can see it still calculates 1.5, okay? So this is, you have a return type here. Sometimes you might have a function that doesn't have a return type, so you could call that void. So I'm going to have a print result function and then pass in result. So all this is going to do is just print out my result. So we have cout result and then a new line character. So for instance, I could say print result and then pass in my average. Okay. So if I were to, let's exit the debug here and then could run our code. You can see it prints out 1.5. Okay. So that's all working. So we looked at, a function with a value setting to default. And then the other case that we want to talk about is overloading. So what that means is you have the same function name. So here we call average. But to overload it means that you have different sets of input arguments. So maybe you have a function with 3 arguments, maybe the average of 3 numbers. So inside, we're going to say return num1 plus num2 plus num3 divided by 3. So here I could say my average equals average, and then let's say pass in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if I run this, you see that we get 2, okay? Because 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, 6 divided by 3 is 2, okay? So that's working. So that summarizes how you could use functions in C++. So if you found this video helpful, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.